devoted listeners, my topic for this evening is the greatness of Hinduism. Once a fisherman went to the river early in the morning to cast his net. It was still very dark, he couldn't see anything. So he sat on a boulder in the shallow water. Immediately, he felt something under his feet. He extended his arm to grab whatever it was, and it seemed to him that it was a bag made of cloth. He reached inside, and there seemed to be pebbles inside. He had some time, so to entertain himself, he took one pebble and threw it as far as he could into the river. The plop sound entertained him. So he did the same with the second pebble, and then the third, and then the fourth. He had thrown away many, many pebbles, and then he was left with only one. By this time, there was enough light for him to see. Before he threw away the last pebble, he took a look at it, and he was shocked to find out that it was a diamond, not a pebble that he had been throwing away. He thought to himself, what a fool I am. I thought these precious diamonds were worthless pebbles, and I discarded them. I threw them away. Even a priceless gem is worthless unless we realize the immense value of it. And that can be said about Hinduism. It is a rare gem, but if we do not realize its immense value and significance, then it is truly worth nothing. Hinduism, we have to know it, to have faith in it, and thereby love it, appreciate it. Tulsidas says in the Ramayana, Jane binu na hoi partiti, binu partiti na hoi priti. It's a wonderful sequence that Goswami Ji discloses to us in the Ramayana. He says the first thing is knowledge. Knowledge leads to the second thing, which is faith. Then faith leads to the third thing, which is love. Without knowing, Jane binu na hoi paratiti, you cannot have faith. And binu paratiti, without having faith, na hoi priti. Priti means love. Without faith, there can be no love. I present to you a very simple example to illustrate this point. There was once a man, and he had a son. The father and son had no one else in the world. They just had each other. One day the father scolded his son and actually slapped his son. And the son felt so badly about this, he thought, my father doesn't love me. Children often misunderstand the actions of parents. So the child thought, my father doesn't love me, it's better that I leave home. He actually took this huge step of leaving home. He left home, and he was very, very young. He had to work for a living because his father wasn't there to provide for him. So he started working a little bit here and there. He had good luck. His destiny was good in the matters of money matters. So he earned more and more money. Then he became a small businessman. Then he became a big businessman. Then he became a very big businessman. He became a very wealthy man. And one day he thought to himself, I should go and see my father. I want to tell him that just because he mistreated me doesn't mean that I could not make anything out of my life. He wanted to show his father what he had made of himself, so he started towards his village in his car. On the way, his car broke down, and he went to a hotel. He took a room. He was tired, so he wanted to sleep. But next door there seemed to be someone who was a madman. This madman was screaming at night. Sometimes he'd be quiet, sometimes he'd be screaming. The young man's sleep was disturbed, and he came out and knocked next door, and an old man came out. So the young man said to the old man, he said, "What are you doing? Let me sleep." And he actually called the manager, and so things got pretty heated. The young man did not know that this old man, right next door to him, was his own father. The old man had become so devastated due to his son's departure that he had become almost crazy. He had searched far and wide, he could not find his son. So he was now searching for his son. He didn't know that that was his son. The son didn't know this was his father. So both of them had a heated exchange. And during this heated exchange, they disclosed their own names. First of all, they disclosed their village name. So the father said, "I will have you know that I am the chief of that village." And the son thought, "Well, I'm from the same village." Then the father said, "I will have you know that my name is Thakur so-and-so." And the son said, "Oh, this is my own father." And then the father realized that this is his own son. As soon as they knew who the other was, the anger was dissolved. The anger just disappeared. Because knowledge led to faith and faith led to love. Now both of them are looking at each other very lovingly, with tears of love in their eyes. A few moments earlier, they did not know each other. Therefore, they did not love each other. Now they know each other. The father knows, this is my son. The son knows, this is my father. So both of them know each other, and knowledge led to faith, and faith led to love. Now they both love each other. And the same formula can be applied everywhere in the world. We can apply the same formula to Hinduism. As long as we don't know the greatness of Hinduism, we will not have any faith in Hinduism. If there is no faith in our own religion, how can we appreciate our religion? How can we love it? So it becomes imperative for us to know the greatness of Hinduism, the religion that we were born into. Hinduism is an eternal religion. It isn't merely ancient, it is timeless. You cannot put a time on Hinduism. You cannot say Hinduism started so many thousand years ago. You can put a date on other religions. For instance, Islam is 1400 years old. Christianity, 2000 years old. Judaism, a little over 3500 years old. But you cannot put a time, you cannot put a date on Hinduism. Because it is timeless. It is eternal. There was never a time when Hinduism did not exist. And because Hinduism is an eternal religion, there is no small-mindedness about it. There is no narrow-mindedness about it. Hinduism is not afraid that it will go out of fashion, that it will go out of style, that it will one day come to an end, or that its membership is dwindling. There is no such fear. There is no such concern, because that which is eternal is without fear. That which is eternal has always existed and will always continue to exist. So there is no fear in Hinduism. You will not see anyone converting people to Hinduism. I ask you, please raise your hand. Have you ever seen anyone, have you ever heard anyone converting anyone to Hinduism? Just as I thought. No. Hinduism is